Hi, I'm Ellen Gormley and welcome to my channel.
Hi everybody, look at this amazing book. I'm Ellen Gormley and welcome to my channel. I want to tell you about Dora Orenstein's new book. I just received this in the mail. It was free. I didn't know it was coming. I'm so excited to share it with you though. Look how thick this thing is. Crochet Every Way Stitch Dictionary. I'm telling you, this book is what I had been hoping to find 15 years ago, and now here it is. So Dora Orenstein is a published author, designer, musician extraordinaire, and writer, of course, and she has come up with this book that is what the crochet industry has been needing for years. So what this is, it's a tutorial. It's not just a stitch dictionary. So not only are there lots of different stitches to learn in this book, but there's ways and diagrams on how to increase and decrease along the edges, as well as how to increase internally within a piece. This changes the game. I'm telling you, this book changes everything. So you now can make anything you want. And you don't have to you can make anything you want. You can go to a stitch pattern in the book. There's 125 stitch patterns, and you can draw out any shape, and now you can make it. So for instance, like these symbol diagrams here show you visually and exactly how stitches are made. So here's this picture here, and then here is the stitch diagram that goes along with it, and this picture here of the finished piece, and here's the stitch diagram that goes along with it. So all the written instructions are still there, but she not only tells you how to work along the edge to increase and decrease, but then she also teaches you how to increase in the middle. And let me tell you why this is important, because I'm telling you, this is revolutionary. This is the book that designers have been waiting for. And now you, the public, who aren't designers, can still design your own things. So for instance, if you wanted to make a shawl out of this stitch pattern and you wanted it to be a triangle, well, now you know, if you wanted to work the triangle and you wanted the increases to be along the edges, you now know how to do that because she teaches you here how to do it. And then if you want the triangle, if you wanted to start at the top of you do a long line of stitches and then you wanted to decrease for a shawl to make it a point, you now know how to decrease because she's shown you that. And if you wanted to make this a top, if you wanted to, you could make the stitch pattern and then increase along the side for maybe some increased bust shaping. Then you could decrease along the shoulder. You could decide how many rows to decrease to get to where you want. Oh my gosh, you totally can now make any project in any shape. So it's really revolutionary. So this stitch diagram here shows you how to put the increases in the middle of the piece. So here the increases are along the edge and the decreases are along the edge, and of course you could just flip that and do the same on the other end. So you now have the tools to do that. But here is where you can increase or add stitches along the middle. So you're adding stitches, which makes it grow out. So if you wanted to do a shawl from here and make it grow down the middle to make this shape, you totally can do that. Or if you were making this, for example, if this is the left front of a sweater, for example, but you decide that you would like an increase right here in the middle because maybe you're an amply abundant chesty person and you would like some extra bust darts in here, you can add this shaping here underneath the middle of the bust, and then suddenly you have more room. And so it's just, I don't even know how to describe it to you. But look, there's lots of different stitch patterns, 125 stitch patterns, ways to increase and decrease along an edge, ways to increase in the middle while keeping the integrity of the stitch pattern. So yeah, you're gonna have to add stitches, so that changes the flow of the pattern a little bit, but you get back on track. You know, and it's this is over the course of a couple rows is how the stitch pattern blooms for this one. So it's just exciting. It's exciting. What can I say? Dora, I am so thrilled with your book, and thank you so much, Dora, for having your publisher send me one so that I could tell my YouTube, yay, all of you guys. But look at all these great stitch patterns. So they are all in this book. There's 125 stitch patterns. And it's not just the stitch patterns, friends. Like, any stitch dictionary is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a ton of them. I love stitch dictionaries. The difference with this book is not only is it stitch patterns, but it's how to increase and decrease in them. That is what changes this book from every other stitch dictionary you've ever seen before. Like, I've never seen anything like this. And back when I was a brand new designer, this is what I struggled with, is trying to figure out how to increase a stitch pattern and decrease in a stitch pattern. Now, of course, you know, I figured it out, but I don't know that it was the most graceful way every time. But she's done it 125 times. Even big stitch patterns. You know, she's got some internal shaping on here. Can you imagine this is a top-down sweater? Oh my gosh, you totally can do this now. So anyway, I don't know how to contain my excitement for this project. So Dora, I'm really pleased with the book, and I know that I'm going to use this as a reference for years to come. No more, I remember vividly when I made the driftwood cap, that same trip. That was such a productive trip. We went to, where'd we go? I think we went to Florida or went to Myrtle Beach or somewhere. But in the car with the kids, I was the passenger, of course. I played with internal shaping on a sweater, and I just made a big swatch, and I played with, it took me a couple rows to get to the shaping that I wanted for the stitch pattern I was doing. And that became, I think it's called the Larkspur Wrap Sweater. Was one of my first garments where I really felt like I mastered shaping, but I had to sit and swatch it and swatch a long time and take notes and get it right before I could really make that sweater shaped the way I wanted. But now here, Dora's done all of that work for you and created these beautiful stitch patterns so that you can then make a sweater or whatever. But I'm getting all excited, and so I've jumped topics again. But the driftwood cap, that trip where I learned how to make the Larkspur Wrap Sweater, I think that's the name of it. That's also the same trip where I made the driftwood cap on the way home, because we were coming home from our vacation, and I realized that back in Ohio that it was snowing. It had been a nice day when we left Ohio, but on our way back from vacation, it was snowing and it was cold, and I didn't have a hat for the kids. So I designed and made the driftwood cap in the car on the way home, and that became the iconic driftwood cap that you will all love and that I wear. And anyway, that was one heck of a productive trip for me. It ended up being very profitable in the long run, a nice work trip. But anyway, the Larkspur Wrap Sweater was part of that fruitful creative bonanza. But look at this. She has done all the work. There's all the written text is there for you. The visual text is all there for you, the symbol diagrams, so that you can see how she's gone from doing side shaping, and look at this internal shaping. She's made the shells bigger. So fascinating. And the part that she's added to the pattern is in red, so that you can see exactly where she's increased. And it's just it's just exciting. I don't know what else to say. Dora, I'm so pleased. Thank you again for sharing your wisdom with the crochet community. Everybody, again, this book is Crochet Every Way, Stitch Dictionary by Dora Orenstein, and I'll put a link in the description box below. 125 essential stitches to crochet in 3 ways. So increasing, decreasing, and then the internal shaping. So nice. And it is published by, I don't even know who it's published by, but hey, good job, people. Abrams. Abrams is the publisher. Excellent. Just, you know, I'm glad they took a risk, because this could be like a book that maybe they thought would only be for designers. But I'm telling you, if you want to make a garment fit your unique body, you know, then you need to know this. This is how to do it. This is how we do it. So it's so exciting. She has just let out all the designer secrets out of the bag. She's exposed us all, but that's okay, because it rises the tide, lifts all boats. So it makes all of us better. And I hope that you have so much fun with this Crochet Every Way Stitch Dictionary. And I can't wait to play with it some more. So that's what I have for you today. Thanks, everybody. Bye.